Life coaching versus therapy. What's the difference and how to actually know which kind of person you need to hire or potentially which professional path you need to be on. If we haven't met before, welcome back to another episode of Six Figure Certified. I'm your host, Olivia Chapman. I am the CEO and co-founder of IGC Coaching School, where we have been training and certifying ICF or International Coach Federation credentialed coaches for over a decade. And one of the key things that we're always saying again and again, especially inside of training, are the differences between coaching and therapy. And so many people come to potentially be coaches and they want to make sure that they are ethically operating as a coach, if that's all that they are trained to be. And also, we get a lot of people who are leaving therapy, licensed clinical social work, some type of the psych majors to get into coaching. And I'm going to go into some of the reasons why. But the very first thing that we are going to cover is the definition of each. Both of them are extremely helpful. They can have profound transformation on a client's life. However, they are fundamentally different. So let's dive into that. The first piece that I want to give you is actually an analogy that one of my trainers told me years ago. And that was that therapy is like archaeology, where we are going into the past, potentially digging things up from the past to figure out why we are the way that we are. Coaching is more like architecture. So you are given a, plot of land or a foundation and you have to build up from there. So we are starting wherever we're at and building with what we've got. There are many differences to coaching and therapy, and the thing that you need to know to operate ethically is what those differences are and also how to stay in your lane and not try to be an unlicensed therapist. Because when you go and do that, you're actually bad for the industry and potentially harming people's lives. And I don't want to leave that part out. Like, we have heard some horror stories of coaches or people pretending to be coaches who have never actually been trained. So they don't actually have any coaching skills or know what coaching even is, and they're giving really bad advice. They're potentially trying to heal people with no therapeutic or medical credentials, and it's just a hot freaking mess. So let's dive into it. Detail number one, therapy is past focused. We are focused on healing, diagnosing, emotional regulation, clinical treatment, perhaps. This is where you go with trauma, grief, depression, anxiety, anything like that that is interfering with your daily life. In that case, therapy is a must. You have to be able to heal yourself, at least to a degree, in order to be able to insert coaching, move forward. I don't know if I would have found coaching if I hadn't been in and finishing up with therapy at the time, because I had gotten myself out of the place of extreme anxiety and a lot of self-pity and really had not handled or even confronted some of my childhood stuff. And so I needed to go through that round of therapy to be able to see clearly enough that a future was even possible. So sometimes they say, like, therapy helps you get out of a hole, coaching helps you climb the mountain. Both are required for growth. Both of these modalities require deep listening. They require very, I don't want to say tactical, but like the art of questioning. So asking really great, thought provoking questions that dig deep, nothing surface level. In coaching, we say never ask a question that can be, the response could only be yes or no. So we're asking powerful questions and we're allowing a lot of space for reflection. I have another video where I talk about how to run a powerful coaching session. And one of the topics that I say in that video is that you have to leave space. Stop yapping sometimes and let your client take up space with their thoughts, with their reflections, and with their feelings about what they want to do next. The next thing, the biggest misconception is that coaching can replace therapy. Coaching cannot replace therapy because a coach cannot diagnose, heal, or treat a clinical condition. So coaching cannot treat depression, treat anxiety, treat any other type of mental illness. It can't. You cannot, as a coach, claim that you're going to heal anyone, actually. That's extremely unethical. And a lot of people are doing it. And a lot of people are charging a lot of money for it. But at IGC, that's a no-no. I would love to share a client example, but as a professionally credentialed coach, we have extreme confidentiality, so I'm not going to do that. We've had many, many guests on the show that have talked about therapy versus coaching, but I will only use myself as an example to say that I did eventually get over therapy, meaning I had talked myself in circles. In my opinion, that's how you know you're done with therapy. You've been talking about the same thing on a loop for years, and you don't actually want to be there anymore. Meaning, like, you don't want to be reliving the trauma or complaining about the same thing again and again and again. That's where I do feel like coaching can be such a great kind of like graduation from therapy step. Meaning you still have someone that's going to ask you questions, that's going to create space for you where you can be reflective, but you're no longer able to just go back in time and relive the crap and wonder what's wrong with you or try to find healing. This is when you say, I've had enough and I need to do something new. That's where the coaching comes in, to do something new. So let's talk about how to tell what you need right now. I'm going to ask you a little quiz. So this could be what you need, or it could be something that you consider when you are asking your clients or doing discovery calls, or even just communicating the value of coaching and how to talk about coaching in your marketing. So number one, am I trying to heal right now or am I trying to grow? If someone is only trying to heal right now, I'd go therapy. If someone is trying to grow right now, I would go coaching. Number two, do I need more emotional processing or strategic support? Emotional processing, therapy. Strategic support, coaching. Am I ready to take action or do I still need to talk through the past? Ready to take action? Coaching. Talk through the past? Therapy. Last question from that set. This is my favorite one. You can ask it to yourself. Do I need a diagnosis or do I need direction? Or you can ask this to potential clients or clients. Do you feel as though you need a diagnosis or direction? So if anyone here said they have to heal, they have to process, they have to diagnose, then therapy is your space. If you were talking about growth, support, goal setting, direction, accountability, we're going to coaching. Okay, that's why so many therapists want to become coaches. That's what we're talking about next. I have trained more people from the world of therapy or licensed clinical social work. Uh, I think that's the top two along with teachers. We are the best coaches, the best business people, because we are so used to having a really hard job that when you come to starting your own coaching business, it actually feels like mostly a cakewalk. All right. So many licensed therapists become coaches because it's a way to help clients beyond just healing. Meaning you've therapied your clients and now they're ready for something else. They're ready for you to kind of take a different role in their life if you're even meant to be there anymore and grow together. Maybe you're even able to give higher gradient or higher level feedback as a coach. Some of those therapy rules where you're never allowed to talk about yourself or whatever else, those don't really apply to coaching. It's a little bit more freeing. And that's another reason why a lot of therapists either hate coaching or come to coaching. Therapy can still offer a wide variety of support to your life. Coaching allows a human and a client to heal in different ways or grow in different ways. A lot of people who have healed inside of therapy now want to do something different with their life. They want to be able to give back. They want to be able to use their story or their experience to enlighten or empower or inspire others. That is a key factor here, too. I don't know how many healed women come into coaching because they have finally done all of this work, often years of work on themselves, so that they can finally do something with it. And coaching is that thing that you can do with it. It's a way for you to package both your coaching skills, your personal experiences, and your professional experiences into a business, into a service that can actually work to transform people's lives. So, this was a quick episode. I hope that you got what you needed and that this was helpful enough for you to see both the differences between coaching and therapy and how they can be the same, when to choose what, if you will. Bottom line, this entire conversation, the main function of therapy is to heal. The main function of coaching is to create. You get to decide which one you personally need. And for the love of things, if you are a coach, please stay in your lane. Please accept your client where they are currently at, broken foundation and all, and start partnering beside them to build, to create, to grow their future. And if you ever feel like the past is getting in the way of that, our ethical responsibility as a coach is to refer our clients to a therapist or bring it up. Bring it up to them that this may be something worth exploring. So if you have any questions about coaching versus therapy, if you disagree with anything that I said, please feel free to reach out. You can find me on Instagram at the Liv Chapman or at IGC Coaching School. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave a question or comment below and make sure you subscribe. We'll be back next week.